Welcome to the Life Coach Lounge. I'm Angela.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Emily.
This isn't a podcast for coaches. It's for you, for real people navigating real life. It's lighthearted, it's deep, and it's grounded in faith, friendship, and purpose.
And once a month, you can join us in our virtual Life Coach Lounge on Zoom.
So pull up a seat. The Life Coach Lounge is open.
Welcome, friends, back to the Life Coach Lounge. I am here with my friends Angela and Lisa, and today we are talking about a little more of a fun topic. Although, because we are life coaches, we will probably put a little coaching spin on what we talk about here and there. But today's topic is garage sales. I know, random, right? It's spring. We have to talk about garage sales. So one person's junk is another person's, oh my goodness, I've been looking for this treasure, right? I think we've all had that moment where either we're selling that treasure to a person or we are finding it at a sale. But before we get into this fun topic today, I just want to remind our listeners to check out the show notes. That is where you will find all the links to get in touch with us personally. If you want to reach out and do a get to know you call, maybe you would like to consider hiring one of us for coaching, you can get our links in the show notes. If you would like to join our private Facebook group, that is where we share the link for the once a month gathering where we meet on Zoom. And anything you need to know about us is in the show notes. So check those out. Okay, ladies, I always say garage sale, sometimes yard sale. I've also heard rummage sale. Angela, which of those terms is most likely the term that you would use to talk about what we're talking about today?
I say garage sale.
Lisa, same?
Garage sale.
Yeah. I didn't know if that was different in different parts of the country.
I think it is.
A rummage sale around our area is like it at an establishment. Like if the church has like a sale where everybody brings their stuff and you kind of donate your stuff so they can make money, that's a rummage sale.
Makes sense. And then a yard sale would be if you actually just have tables set out in your yard and not actually in a garage. Either way, that's what we're talking about today, selling our stuff and buying other people's used stuff. So I'm guessing there are some fun stories that we can share here on the podcast. I want to know if there is a best garage sale find ever, if there's a weird random item you've sold or bought, if there's a really awkward garage sale interaction that you maybe want to share. I will get started because this just happened a couple weeks ago. I found a brand new, unused Young Living diffuser, essential oil diffuser for $6, completely brand new. Do I have too many diffusers? Maybe.
No.
Did I need another one? Probably not. Did I buy it anyway?
Yes.
Of course I did, because you can always have another diffuser. And this one is in way better condition than even some that I have at home. So for $6, sold. I grabbed it up. Who wants to be next with a story?
Well, first of all, you can't say, can I have too many diffusers on a podcast where you co-host with an aromatherapist? No. The answer is always no. You cannot have too many diffusers. Because if you have more than you need for one room, then it just becomes like, what decor will this diffuser go with today? But to answer your question, the year my daughter graduated from high school, I just, as you do, you're just driving down the road and you're like, oh, they're having a sale. And I think it was on a Thursday even. So I wasn't really like out looking for sales. And I thought, okay, well, I actually have time before I have to be where I'm going. So I'm going to pull in. And I found an entire table of glass containers of all different shapes and sizes. And think what you would see in like an old-fashioned candy store, different shapes and sizes. Some of them might have been fluted or like apple shaped or even bigger on the bottom, and they all had lids. And I thought, what can I do with this for graduation party? So I quickly text my daughter and I'm like, what do you think about having a candy bar at your graduation party? Because I'm visualizing a full on candy bar. She's like, yeah, sounds awesome. So I said, I'm going to take this whole table. How much for this whole table? So that was like a huge find. And then it was just so much fun to get out my Cricut and come up with different way to say the word candy or treats on each of the jars. And we'll be having our own garage sale soon here later on this spring. And guess what's going in that garage sale? All those glass containers. So that was a super random and fun find that just led to a fun part of her graduation party. And then the most awkward, it's not even awkward. I think this is more common than I knew, but when Brian and I were first married and had our first garage sale, just the two of us, I didn't really understand the people that are like out there bright and early pounding the pavement who are going to like descend upon you as soon as they say any signs of life. And so this guy in a pickup truck pulls up, and we were selling like a throw rug, and he literally just started grabbing so many things and putting it on the throw rug. And then he's like, okay, add this up. And then, bartered. And then he just kind of like pulled the four corners together and threw it in the back of his truck and took off to the next stop. I remember looking at Brian going, what just happened? So
Awesome.
that was, that was a good way to start that garage sale, but it was a little surprising to me. I didn't expect that apparently that's a thing.
So did he ask for a deal on everything? Did he put everything on the rug and then
Yes.
say, here, I'll give you this much for it?
Yes. So I was completely off. Like I was just trying to get my bearings, like, oh my gosh, how do I add up all the things? He was so fast. Like he was a man on a mission.
He had a strategy.
He
I'm
did.
going to get all this stuff at a discount. I'm going to, before this lady knows it, half her stuff's going to be on this rug, and I'm going to be out of there. $20. Oh, Angela, how about for you? Do you have any fun stories to share with us?
I do. So my mom and I have had garage sales, not every year, but most every year for probably the last 25 or so years. So we have some great stories. So when my kids were little, they loved garage sale day, because there were always people coming and going, and they would sell their own things. So they would make some money, and my one daughter would have a lemonade stand and make some money. So they always had fun with it. But they were in and out playing and, being kids. And one of my kids was playing with a rock. I mean, literally, it was just a rock, like a gray stone, and dropped it in the free box because, every good garage sale has a free box, right? So dropped it in the free box. Well, towards the end of garage sale days, you start to get a little punchy, So I'm, you're always sorting things, organizing things, like readjusting things, moving things around. And I see that rock in the free box, and I pick it up and I put it on the table, and I took a 25-cent sticker and stuck a sticker on it. And I said, let's just see if we can sell a rock. I'm not kidding you. Within 15 minutes, this woman comes in. She sees this rock, and you would have thought she found the Hope Diamond. I am not even joking. She was like, I have been looking for another rock for my collection. I can't believe you guys are selling this rock. And I'm like, I can't believe you're buying this rock because it came out of the driveway right over there, and you can have as many as you want. But then this year at Christmas, did you guys see that whole anthro rock TikTok trend or whatever that was going around where you would give a rock to a family member for Christmas, and the person who was getting the rock was in on the joke, like, you bought me the anthro rock? Tell me you didn't pay full price, And oh no, I got it half off. It was only $900. You got it for not. And then they're filming like everybody's face in the room. Oh my gosh, I sent my mom so many of those because I'm like, we sold a rock in a garage sale. My mom's like, we can sell anything. We can sell a rock.
That is impressive.
So awesome. It was hilarious.
Oh my word.
So then another, the most awkward, but turned out beneficial garage sale interactions we had was this lady was buying, she had found a bunch of clothes or whatever, and she came up and we tallied them up and told her the total, and she's counting out her money and she was short. And so she was like, oh no, I don't have enough. I'm short. I'm so sorry. She reaches into her handbag in the bottom and pulls out a jar of peanut butter. And she goes, will you take a jar of peanut butter? She goes, it's brand new. I was going to bring it to my mom. And I'm like, heck yeah, man, I have 5 kids. I'll take peanut butter all day. So she paid with a jar of Jif peanut butter.
I'm like, wow.
That
okay,
was a bonus.
I have not heard that one before. So stuff things in your purse just in case you run out of money. You just never know what somebody might barter for. Yeah. Oh, funny. Okay, I knew you'd have some good stories, both of you. So good. Are there any more, or should we move on?
So just talking about free boxes, the best thing we ever got out of a free box, my daughter got it. She was maybe 3 years old, and they were angel wings. So like it had like the little elastic straps that you put your arms through, and then it had these big kind of translucent, iridescent, really beautiful angel wings. She literally wore those wings that entire summer. When we went on vacation, she brought them. She wore those angel wings the entire summer. Her little blonde bob hairdo, her big blue eyes, and those angel wings. And I'll send you guys a picture. Jim took one of the most epic photos of her ever, and she's wearing her angel wings. It's the most beautiful picture of her. And they were in the free box. It was awesome.
I love it. Yes, every good garage sale does have a free box, and you don't ever walk by it because you never know what you can find in that free box.
Know.
You never know. So as we are thinking about getting ready to have a garage sale, if that's your thing, it's important to talk about the psychology of stuff. We all probably have too much stuff. We all have things we could get rid of. I mean, we live in America. We have excess. So I think it's important to talk about sentimental clutter versus meaningful keepsakes. I know I always give my loved ones permission to get rid of a gift if it's not bringing them joy. If it's something I gave them, or even if it's something that somebody else gave them, don't hang on to it just because you think you might hurt that person's feelings. You're going to be hanging on to way too many things. And then there's also the mentality of, I might need this someday, so I think I'm going to hang on to it. Or the opposite, oh man, I just donated that and now I need one, which is totally me. Which do you feel, the two of you, I want to know, are you more of the keeper? I might need this someday. Or like the ruthless purger, like you're always tossing things like, we don't need it, get it out of here. More clutter means more chaos. I think you can probably guess which camp I'm in. I'm more of the ruthless purger, and I've been known to donate more than one item that a month later I'll be like, oh, yeah, I guess I needed that. Time to go buy another one. So, Lisa, which camp do you fall into? Keeper, tosser,
I
saver,
am
purger?
a more of a ruthless purger, married to a I want to keep everything. I want to keep all the things. They all have some sentimental value. And you were mentioning the psychology behind that, which is exactly what that is, right? Because it's an inanimate object, but our brains make it as that's the physical vessel, like you were just saying, that kind of connects our memories and our emotions to things. And some things, even our identity, I was just telling my son the other day, we were talking about different things, and he asked if we still had certain things from his childhood. And we're like, yeah, absolutely. We still have those things. It'll be your choice whether you want to be ruthless and let it go or hang on to it for however long you need to, because sometimes they just provide comfort, and they're like an extension of ourselves, especially like those wings you were just describing. Like, for that period of time, those were very much, sounds like very much an extension of who she was as a child. So, yes, we're opposites. We'll see how the next garage sale goes.
How about you, Angela? Which camp do you fall into?
I am 100% a sentimental keeper. I would say I'm not really like, oh, I might need this someday, except with clothes more in that area. But the little things that were my grandma's, or gifts that people gave me, or I had no problem like weeding out kids books and getting rid of them, but if someone inscribed the front of it and signed it, I no, that's going in the special box forever. So yeah, very very sentimental with what I keep, to a detriment, honestly. I have become a stuff manager in a lot of ways, and I'm trying to get over that. So, something I've been working on.
That's interesting. And I completely agree with you. There are certain keepsakes that do definitely have that sentimental tie. But it surprises me a little bit because you've talked about when you sold your family home and then, moved to the cottage and now you're in a townhome or a condo. You talked about selling everything from your
I
family
did.
home. And so I thought for sure you'd be like, "Oh, I'm a ruthless purger. Let's just get rid of it and start new." But I see what you're saying. There is a balance. You're probably able to decipher what is that sentimental keepsake that really means a lot and you'll never part with it versus a house full of furniture, dishes, things like that. You are able to part with more easily. Is that correct?
Yeah, for sure.
It's a balance, right? There's so
It
much
is.
psychology around it. I will say we just finished up having our garage sale. And once I had decided we were having the sale, as I was going through closets, cabinets, rooms, boxes throughout the house, it was more motivating for me to set it aside and say, oh, we'll put that on the garage sale. Not necessarily because I was banking on making a lot of money on it. There just was an extra motivation for me to get it out of the house versus, oh, yep, let's just donate that. So I don't know if that's like that for either of you. If setting your mind to actually having a sale is more motivating, would
Yeah,
you
for
find that to be
sure.
true?
I think it's more the deadline than, the fact that you're making money off it. For me, anyways. It's like, oh, by next Saturday, I have to have all the cupboards, sorted through. So let's get on it. Versus if you're just like, I don't know. I don't feel like cleaning up my cupboards
So
today.
true. So very true. And then when we were done with the sale, I had already decided ahead of time, nothing's coming back in. Although there were a couple of handful of items that we either wanted to sell on Marketplace or keep because we just changed our mind about it. But for the most part, everything got boxed up and it's gone. And that feels so amazing to have a clean basement and a clean garage. So also very motivating for me. So let's talk about actual garage sales and hosting one. Is there even etiquette? I want to know if there's etiquette. My mom and I joke all the time. We could write a book on garage sale etiquette
Yes.
because sometimes it feels like it's anything goes. And you're like, this is making no sense. These people had 0 signs and we just happened upon their sale. How are they going to get people if they don't have signs? Or how about this one? Putting the signs out days before you're having the sale.
Not okay.
Not okay.
Yes.
Or after the sale, leaving your signs up again so that you're leading us on a wild goose chase with no sale at the end.
Not
What
cool.
is some other etiquette? Give me all of your tips and tricks, ladies.
Don't drive on someone's lawn. No, don't do that. Unless, if they have it marked, like, oh, you can park on the grass or whatever. But otherwise, no, don't do that. Be courteous about where you walk and where you drive.
Apparently, just show up with your truck and grab all the stuff and
Yeah.
$20, take off.
Do you price your items individually or do you prefer to just put everything out and then everybody that comes say, make an offer, we're willing to negotiate?
We price everything.
Have you ever been to a garage sale? This is a true and honest question. Asking for a friend. And by a friend, I mean me. So when I have this garage sale coming up, I have thought as I'm pulling things, much like Emily was just saying, and then Angela saying, like, there's a deadline coming. I'm thinking, okay, but do I really want to put stickers on all these things? What if I have like, this is the dollar table. This is the.
That's okay.
Okay.
I give you permission.
Okay. Thank you.
Because that
I'm
is
like, is
priced.
that a thing? Can I do that? That
Yeah.
seems easier.
For sure. And we do that, especially with clothes. Like sweaters are $2, shirts are $1, pants are 50 cents. Like just put the sign up, done. And then if you have stuff that's worth more, you can have it on a separate table and priced individually. And I'll say about clothes. So for years, I had a mannequin and her name was Betty. And we would dress Betty in our garage sale clothes. We would put jewelry on her. We would put little shoes by her, stick leg. And she was just a cloth mannequin body with a stick and a stand, We would no sooner get her dressed, get her jewels on, set the shoes out, and someone would come up and go, I want that whole outfit. I want the necklace. I want everything out. Just something about it was like a storefront, like they visualized it. They saw it all together. And then we'd take the clothes off Betty, put a new outfit on her, and the next person would come and sold the outfit. So I don't have a mannequin anymore. And I'm kind of like, oh no, might have to borrow a mannequin for my garage sale in a couple weeks because that was a good trick that we had with the clothes.
That's a great trick.
You think about good consignment stores around here, they have those, like what you're talking about. And of course, your eyes are drawn right to like, ooh, look at that outfit. Ooh, I kind of like that jacket. Or let me take a closer look at that necklace or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. I don't think I've ever been to a garage sale where there's been a full dressed mannequin. I'm going to have to keep an eye out for that. So, what is your feeling on negotiations? Does it feel uncomfortable? Do you welcome it? So, when people are shopping your sale, and then also when you go to sales, how quick are you to talk somebody down? Tell me all of your thoughts on negotiating.
I have no problem with someone asking. I sometimes say yes. I sometimes say no. I'm not going to like cut the price in half unless it's the last day, But here's what bothers me about negotiations. Something will be $1 and they'll come up and they'll go, well, would you take 50 cents for this? And you go, yeah, it's fine. I'll take 50 cents. And they pull out a 20. Can you make change? And I'm like, Wow, really? Oh, yeah, that happens a lot.
I
Yep.
have had that happen to me also. You just wanted a deal. I get it.
Yep.
So in Minnesota, we've got this Minnesota Nice thing. So I think it can be somewhat awkward for people because it's conversation and it might feel uncomfortable and they might say no, right? But that being said, the real diehard garage sailors, I don't think are afraid to ask if you'll budge on the price. And I've gotten better at if I go to sales and I think something is just a little too more than I would like to spend. Yeah, I don't mind asking. What's the worst they can say? No, I could walk away, right?
Yeah.
Lisa, how
Yeah.
about you in negotiations?
I don't mind people asking me. I am not one to ask at a garage sale. My husband, though, again, being opposite, huge negotiator. He loves it. He loves to ask for a deal on all the things.
But you not so much.
No, not so much. Maybe I'm Minnesota nice.
There you go.
I feel like it's odd because, like I said, I have no problem if someone does that at something I'm running. I have no problem if someone asks, "Hey, would you be willing to take a few dollars less for this?" I don't have a problem with that, but I'm not one to. I just usually pay whatever the sticker is. Say thank you. Except for when I bought all those glass jars. I did say, okay, I'm buying this whole table, and I had already added it up. So I'm like, what can you do for this? I'm taking it all. Don't garage sales kind of lend to bartering though? Like
I
that
think.
I feel like they do. Like if
Yeah,
you're
I think
gonna,
so.
yeah,
Where else can you shop that you can actually negotiate the price? You can't go to the grocery store and be
right.
like, would you take less for all of this produce? They would look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Well, you
even the
can't
thrift
even do it at the
stores,
thrift store. No. No.
no, the price is the price. So, isn't there just something fun too about kind of setting up shop? It's like you have your own little shop in your garage. Like, who doesn't love to play shop? Like when you're young, right? That's what my daughters were saying. Like, it's just so fun to kind of just set up your own little shop.
Yeah, well, apparently we both need a Betty.
You need Betty.
We need a Betty.
Yes. The only thing I'm thinking of is where do I store Betty when I'm not having a sale?
That's why Betty went away. Betty
Yeah,
went
that's why
bye-bye.
Betty had to be sold on the garage sale. It was her last sale.
I
It's
actually
time.
donated her to a friend who has a real boutique. So
That's
Betty
amazing.
is still alive and well.
Yeah, Betty's
That's
working hard.
amazing. That's amazing. So, what days of the week are traditionally sale days in your neck of the woods?
So we used to always do Friday and Saturday, and we found more that Thursday and Friday were better days. And then we might open for a couple hours on Saturday morning, but yeah, especially in the summer, people are going to the beach in West Michigan on a Saturday. They're not usually out garage sailing.
That's same here too. How about for you, Lisa? What days of the week?
I feel like I see more signs for Friday and Saturday, not Thursday. Although, why not get a jump start on it and then be done by the weekend? You guys are giving me great suggestions. I switch things up a little bit.
Hey, if you have stuff set up anyway, you might as well open half day on Thursday and then Friday is just open the garage door and you're ready to go.
Yeah. And the other thing we do is we invite all our family and friends to come the night before the sale starts. So they get like pick of the choice. They can come and shop. So my sister-in-law was just texting me this morning, when's your garage sale? Can I come early? So yeah, they get to come and before the doors open.
How about drive-bys? Do you ever drive by a garage sale and you're like, yeah, not for me?
Yes.
I have before, yeah.
I live on the in the borderline country. So like if I pull out of my driveway and I go one way, it's fields and barns and cows. If I go the other way, it's a Walmart, Supercenter, and Costco. So if I'm in an area where I can slow down and be the ridiculous drive-by garage sale stalker, yes, then I will slow down and kind of scan and be like, no, especially because my kids are older now. So if I saw a garage sale that looked like it was mostly getting rid of baby items, I'm probably not going to stop.
So I will say, yes, I have driven by, but I remember one sale. It was kind of towards the end of the day. I was getting tired. I wanted to go home, and I drove by the sale, and it looked really picked over, and it was starting to sprinkle, and I just was kind of driving by going, I don't think I want to go up there, but I was just like, fine, it's the last sale of the day. I'm just going to run up there and see what she has. I found the most gorgeous vintage Coach purse, like full leather Coach purse at that sale. And it was, I don't remember, $10 or something. And so I was like, okay, lesson learned. Get out of the car.
Lesson learned. You never know what's inside that you can't see from your car.
Yeah.
So on this sale we just had, it was more disappointing than other sales that we've had. And we have had so many people drive by and not stop. I had to use my coaching hat and be like, it's fine. It's not a problem. I don't need to take that personally, because my immediate thought was, we don't have a drive-by sale. We've got nice stuff here. And then I quickly reminded myself, we have nothing that looks like kids or babies kind of items here. And so if that's what they're looking for, I can understand.
My kids used to call that a granny sale. This looks
Well,
like a granny sale.
we had an amazing granny sale, let me tell you. We just did not have any kids stuff. But I had to use my coaching tools to be like, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Another one drove by, it's not a problem. And also, there is the house 2 doors down is for sale on the end of a dead end street. So I also told myself, they're just checking out the house that's for sale, and they just are not garage sale people. But yeah, coaching comes into play on so many levels, ladies. Okay, so why do we break for garage sales? Let's talk about the treasure hunting and the unexpected joy that we find. So Angela already shared with us that she found an amazing Coach purse, a vintage Coach purse that she wasn't expecting to find. What else are we looking for? Why are garage sales fun to stop at?
It's a treasure hunt.
And sometimes, I mean, even though it doesn't have to necessarily be just because it's a super nice neighborhood and it looks like a super bougie house. Sometimes what they have in their garage sale, you're like, really? This is what you have? But there are some places that I have gone that are the complete opposite. It's like an old farmhouse, or probably really needing a lot of help and repair and upkeep, but you find the most interesting things in those houses. I mean, if I was somebody who bought things and then like resold them on eBay or something, that's probably like that type of person's dream, right? I'm not smart enough to know that I'm looking at something that's could be potentially worth a lot. I just find it really interesting in a very non-creepy way to be like fascinated with what people either collected or found sentimental to them. So they have just held on to it for a number of years, especially if it's like a family sale, where people bring the younger generation bring all their things to the older generation's place. It's fun. Just the hunt is fun, but also so is just, I don't know, it's like a peek into somebody's life a little bit. And then of course my husband will strike up a conversation with the person.
I was going to say,
right?
you meet a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have great stories.
Yes. It's fun. It does bring the community together also. When we just had our sale, the whole community had, whoever in the town wanted to have a sale. It was community-wide garage sales. And we talked more with our neighbors over this past weekend than we had, since last fall, because we all hibernate during the winter, and then it just started to become nice. And rarely are you really outside at the same times as your neighbors. And so having our garage door open and then the neighbor also having a sale, we were back and forth all day trying to sell each other stuff. And just Andrew just makes our neighbors laugh. A sweet older couple, and they just think he's the funniest thing ever. So that community aspect also of garage sailing, you just never know who you might meet, what kind of conversation you might have. And this occurred to me as well as I was reflecting on why I like to go to garage sales and I like to go to thrift stores and consignment shops. I prefer to shop when you're just not quite sure what you're going to find and you stumble upon something that is something you didn't even know you were looking for, versus going to the mall. That can be a little overwhelming to me. Even a department store just can be a little overwhelming to me, or it starts to look like all the same stuff. So the unexpected joy of finding something unique. And then here's a little coaching reflection again. How often do we overlook a value in ourselves or others because it doesn't look shiny or new? So just because something is used at a sale, a garage sale, a thrift store, a consignment shop, doesn't mean it doesn't have value. Sometimes it has even more value than the brand new item. So I think that's a really good thing to apply to ourselves as well. We don't have to be shiny and brand new either to have value. Any additional stories that you'd like to share, ladies, before we wrap up our conversation today? Anything we didn't get to?
I would say if you're having a garage sale, join your local Facebook groups that are purposely for garage sailing and then advertise your sale in there. It's a great way to draw people in, and you might even sell stuff like before your sale even starts, because if you put pictures or whatever in there, they will contact you. At my estate sale, I sold a lot of things through Marketplace before the sale even started. And then there's the crazy, I don't know, crazy is probably not a nice word, but the people who, I found two things that will bring people out. Like if your sale starts at 8 a.m., they will be there at 7 and they will just sit in your driveway waiting for that garage door to go up. It is tools, like men's tools. And the other one is Legos. When I sold my kids Legos, I had people just lined up ready to buy the Legos. And so make sure you put in your ad kind of what you have, because I had one guy who came, I had put jewelry, and he came with a jeweler's, what do you call that, monocle, and put it on his glasses and looked at every piece of jewelry we had, literally within 30 seconds of us opening the garage. And he looked at every single thing I don't know. He was like, maybe, these people are selling something valuable, or, I mean, and maybe we were, I don't know, but yeah, make sure you advertise. That is a big one. Advertise on Facebook and join those groups. That's really helpful.
Great tips. And above all, have big, bright signs in all the right places and keep them up during the sale. Don't put them out before, and don't keep them up after. If there's one pet peeve I have for garage sales, is when the signage is not good or it's up when it shouldn't be. So,
Yep.
Well, this has been fun. Random conversation, right, about garage sales. At the end of the day, it's all just stuff. And I need to remind myself also to just not take it too seriously. If you decide to have a sale or shop other people's sales, keep it light, keep it fun. Let's look for the treasures, but also look for opportunities to treasure moments of connection with other people. So if you love our podcast, would you please rate and review it? That will help other people find it. There are a vast number of podcasts for people to choose from. And so the more ratings and reviews we get, the more likely it is somebody else will find us and be able to listen in. Also, subscribe if you haven't done so. And if you could share the podcast with a friend who might need encouragement, we would love that. Well, Angela and Lisa, I can't wait to hear how your sales go. I'm sure you will keep me updated in the Marcos. And for all of the rest of you, we will see you next Tuesday for another episode of the Life Coach Lounge.